Port of Fremantle, good morning, go ahead.
Ships in, ships out, that's our business.
We provide that gateway to around the world.
The sparkling Swan, towering red cranes and sea containers stacked like Lego.
Just about everything in a container is somewhere used in your house. Cleaning products, televisions, furniture, clothing from overseas. It's all coming through this port in these containers.
Keeping WA afloat is big business.
$3 million a trade per hour.
It's like a delicate ballet of perfectly choreographed steps, a complex operation, but this is how Fremantle Port's harbour master explains it to school kids.
When you go home, I want you to hop in the bath and get a Tupperware container from your mum and get your blocks and keep putting the blocks into the Tupperware container till it's just about to sink and fill up with water. Why? Because that's what we do. We put blocks on ships until they're full, and every block is worth money. And if you can load that ship until the point where it can't load anymore, you've done your job.
Loading those ships, a technological marvel. Automated sensors feed tidal, wind and pressure information directly into a central system, the dynamic underkeel clearance chart.
Programs like this allow us to be able to maximise the depth of the ships in the facilities that we got without having to spend millions of dollars to improve them.
In fact, while many ports have changed or relocated over the years, Fremantle's inner harbour is incredibly similar to its original design.
Seaway O'Connor, back in the 1890s, had a vision on this port, and we haven't changed the shape in all that years, and we've only dredged it 3 times.
When the harbour was opened in 1897, it was 9 metres deep. Today, the North Quay berths plunge 14.7 metres.
The deepest ships we get are about 14.5 metres.
So how do you get it in and out with 20 centimetres there?
There are more factors into play. You have to take into account the weather conditions and also the tides.
The science is mind-blowing. Thanks to the technology, these massive ships carrying thousands of tonnes of cargo float with just over 20 centimetres clearance from the bottom of the harbour. That's less than the length of a school ruler. It has to be exact.
For about every 1 centimetre extra that they load, depending on the size of the ship, can be anywhere between 100 to 200 tonnes of extra cargo.
That's potentially millions of dollars.
At the moment, we've probably got about 75% of imports, seaborne imports coming into the state come through Fremantle.
Then there are the exports, WA trades all over the world. More than 20 million tonnes of cargo was sent from Fremantle last year alone. The biggest export, grain. Almost 1/3 of that is shipped to China, our biggest trading partner. Next, it's iron ore, alumina, petrol and animal feed.
We play a really, really important role in the state economy.
The global shipping industry carries 17 times more cargo today than it did in 1980, and it's not just the industry that's grown, but the ships themselves.
Ships are getting bigger. The 400-metre container ships are massive, and they need new design berths and new bollards and more space to turn.
So far, Freo's keeping up.
This port can handle the biggest ships that are coming into anywhere in Australia, and we can do more.
Ships aren't just getting bigger, but more advanced.
Automation is coming at us at a rapid rate. They're already experimenting with automated tugs in Norway and Sweden, and they're looking at autonomous deep-sea vessels.
That creates a whole new set of challenges.
If you've got no one on a ship, how do you moor it? Do you put a pilot on a ship that's got no crew on it? So there's a long way to go, but it's exciting.
Today, it's people driving the port. Guiding a ship into berth is a complicated task.
A lot of planning goes into that beforehand.
At the centre of it all, the signal station.
Port of Fremantle standing by.
Similar to an airport's control tower, this is where all incoming ships are scheduled and tracked.
Know where all the assets are, where all the resources are, and of course where the ships are.
Once a ship's in place offshore, it's the pilot's job to navigate it into the harbour 24/7, rain, hail or shine. To board a ship, the pilot boat needs to travel alongside at exactly the same speed.
CMO CGM Bellini, Fremantle pilot. Captain, if you could have a boarding speed of 8 knots, please. 8 knots for pilot boarding.
The ships align and the captain boards the ship via ladder. Imagine that at night on rough seas. Luckily, this is a smooth day in the office for Captain John Brown. Now the pilot's on board, he'll head to the bridge and the captain basically gives him control of his ship. It's his crew who's physically driving, but the pilot gives them every instruction. It will be like someone getting into your car and telling you exactly what to do, going to first gear, second gear, and you follow what they're saying because you have no idea what the road ahead holds.
All ports have the challenges. Fremantle's challenges are that it's a windy place, particularly in the afternoon, and we have a 65-degree bend coming into the turn, and we get those winds generate cross currents coming across the mouth of the river.
The pilot must guide a crew they've never met, sailing a ship they've never seen, through those cross currents and into the harbour. An accident could paralyse trade or cause environmental devastation. To ensure smooth sailing, this sweep bar evens the seabed.
You just drag something around, cut off the top and put it into the hollows.
It picks up some interesting debris on the way.
A couple of motorbikes and a gopher.
Another cog in the machine.
Teamwork's essential and good communications between that team is imperative to keep the things flowing.
That includes security. 9/11 didn't just overhaul safety regulations in the air but on the sea as well.
We're certainly controlling access. Border Force are X-raying containers on a risk assess-based system, and they randomly check vessels.
Yeah, we're from Australian Border Force. Just asking if you've seen anything suspicious on the waters.
It does mean less access for the public.
In the old days, ports were open and you would bring your children down and they'd see the ship that you were working on.
That said, Fremantle Port is still one of the most accessible in the world.
You can come right down to the edge and you see the ships manoeuvring right in front of you. There's not many ports in the world now that you have that opportunity.
To improve the customer experience, the old passenger terminal is getting a $3 million spruce up.
The refurbishment that's taking place now will include better shelter, better security arrangements, new furniture, and we'll continue to look at what we can do to improve that passenger experience.
Fremantle Port is complex and evolving, a historic landmark fuelled by trade and steered by passion.
Why be at sea? Why be in the maritime industry? Because we love big ships.